everyone! So I've been asked to film a video on my top favorite foundations, and that's what this video is going to be. A little bit of background on my skin though. I don't really have problematic skin. I don't get breakouts really. I might have a little bit of redness, but I'm not really looking to cover a lot of blemishes or acne, scarring, or anything like that. So foundation for me is really just something to make my skin look even if that's what I want. I often go without foundation. I don't feel like it's necessary for me, especially since I consider myself to have quite good skin. But because I like playing around with makeup, I often feel obligated to put it on my face. So I do have a collection of favorites that I always go back to because I know that they're gonna look good on my skin. But not everything that I wear has to be full coverage. More often than not, I will go for something that is almost translucent really. I just need something that's going to remove any sort of redness that tends to be around my nose, but that's pretty much it. I do have some foundations in here that are more full coverage, and those are the kind of foundations I will go towards if I want to look really flawless. But in general, I'm looking for a sheer to medium coverage that lets like my freckles shine through. I don't have a ton of freckles showing right now because it is the winter, but in general, I like the way my skin looks and I want that to come through the foundation. A few things to note about my skin. I am pretty much dry throughout the winter, but I would say that I'm still kind of combination dry because I do get some oil patches every now and then. I do go more oily in the summer, which makes sense with the heat. And I am around a MAC NW20 zone. It depends on whether or not I've had a little bit of a tan or if we're in the middle of winter. Other things to note about how I wear my foundation, I don't apply face primer. I really don't like it. I feel like it doesn't actually help my foundation. And I don't typically wear powder to set everything. So my favorite foundations require none of those steps. Diving right in, I'm going to talk about my most recent favorite foundation, and that is the Shiseido Synchro Skin. This is wonderful. I got one bottle via Influencer, tried it out and loved it, and it became my daily foundation. I got that bottle, I think it was in October, and I literally just finished it up last week. It is so, so good. A fellow blogger, Janine, did send this one to me, so now I have another bottle of it, but I'm a little bit worried that it's become discontinued because while it's available on Beauty Boutique, which is Shoppers Drug Mart's website, I can't find it on Sephora, and that's making me a little bit nervous. So this one is quite interesting to me. It is around a medium coverage, I would say. It lets a little bit of my natural skin poke through, but it goes on very, very liquidy. Like, it is super runny, but I feel like it dries down to a bit of a powdered finish. It's a really nice effect, and it makes me feel like somebody who does typically use powder wouldn't necessarily need it with this one. This foundation stays put the entire day on my skin, and that's pretty normal, I would say, for a good foundation for me, but the most impressive part is that it doesn't move off of my nose. I have so many problems keeping foundation on my nose. More often than not, it slides off and I'm left with like a red nose by the end of the day. This didn't move. And I don't know what ingredient is in here to make it so wonderful that it didn't slide off my nose, but this is an absolute winner. And I have never gone through a foundation in 3 months. Like, it has not happened before. So yeah, this one is an utter winner for me. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some sheer coverage foundations now. Something I have loved for quite a few years now is the No.7 Instant Radiance Foundation. Now I have two here because I have to put them together in order to get my perfect match. One is Warm Ivory and the other one is Cool Vanilla. Now these ones are repurchases. I did originally pick it up when I was in Ireland visiting a few years ago, and then somebody else was overseas and picked them up for me as well, so I've got more because I finished the original bottles. And that's because you can't buy these in North America. I know certain places in the US sell No.7 foundation, but they don't have this particular one, which is really, really frustrating. So you can really only get this overseas. I like this because it looks like my skin, but better. It looks radiant, it looks healthy, and I always get compliments on my skin whenever I'm wearing this one. I would say that this almost has the appearance of looking worn in within an hour of wearing it. And I hope some people will understand what I mean when I say that, because sometimes I feel like you put your foundation on and you look kind of cakey. And then once your oils start to come through in your face, that's when your foundation starts to look really, really good. I feel like this looks really, really good right off the bat. You don't have to wait for it to have that sort of lived in feeling or look. This one is just one of those flawless ones that when I want to look healthy, I go back to this one all the time. And one of the easiest foundations I have in my collection is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation. I have two shades here. One is 51 and the other one is 52. I go back and forth depending on what time of year it is. These are the kind of foundations that I bring on vacation with me when I just want to slap something on my face and go out the door. They are so comfortable to wear. They also smell really, really nice, kind of like fruity, but it's not too much. They are quite translucent in terms of coverage. There's not a lot that you're gonna be covering up on your face if you're wearing these. It's just a nice even layer though, so that's why I like going back to these. And sadly, this range of products does not have a huge selection. I mean, if you're even a medium skin tone, I don't think that they have anything for you. But if you're around my skin tone area, then you will definitely find something that works for you. I've probably gone through about 6 bottles of these over the years, and it's a little bit frustrating buying these in Canada because the price tag is really up there. It's like 36 bucks, I think. And yet, if you buy these in the UK or Ireland, they're somewhere around like 10 pounds. So I try to stock up whenever I'm overseas because that is a much better price tag over there, but I would pay the 36 bucks here regardless. It is so good. It's just an easy foundation to wear, and I feel like it always looks good. It is a little bit more on the yellow side of things though, which is fine for me. I am pink toned in general, but I kind of like to neutralize it by putting something that's a little bit more yellow on my skin. So if you're looking at these foundations and you feel that they're too yellow for you, I'm in agreement. I think that they do veer quite yellow. Moving on to the foundations that are a little bit more fuller coverage. This one is the Inglot HD Perfect Cover Up Foundation. I have the shade 71. This one I feel is actually quite similar to the Boots No.7 Instant Radiance Foundation. I just find that this one has a little bit more coverage. It's almost as if they're the same sort of product, because this one does actually tend to look quite radiant on my skin, but not as translucent as the Boots one. So I find this one a good default for when I want to look a little bit more perfect. This one is very comfortable to wear. I don't find that it slides off my nose as quickly as other ones do. Honestly, the only one that's ever really stayed put is the Shiseido Synchro Skin. So that's not a downer on the Inglot one, it's just a problem area for me. But yeah, this one is, again, just one that is perfect on me. Whenever I put it on, I feel like it just, you know, flawless canvas, everything just looks really, really good. And we're gonna end this video off with a doozy of a foundation. The Dermablend Smooth Liquid Camo is a powerhouse for covering up any problems that you may have on your skin. You have scarring, you have acne, you have blemishes, you have any kind of discoloration, this foundation will cover it. One thing that I also like about this too is that even though it is full coverage, it's not that cakey looking. Like sometimes you can look at somebody who's wearing a very thick foundation and be like, ooh, that looks like it's too much. I don't feel that that's the case with this one. I mean, yes, it is a little bit thicker than some of the other ones I have mentioned here, but that's just due to how much pigment is sitting in this foundation. I have the shade Cream 10N, and it's a good match for me when I'm sort of like fall going into winter. I don't think it's a perfect match for me right now. Actually, you can see that's a little bit dark for my skin at the moment, but they do have a paler shade, so I could go get that one if I needed another color. This is not a foundation that I wear that often, but it is one that I reach for if I want my look to be absolutely bulletproof, because honestly, like, this will make you look flawless. So that's going to be it for my roundup on my top 5 favorite foundations. All of these I've been using for a really long time, longer than a year. The only exception to that is the Shiseido Synchro Skin, but like I said, I've already gone through an entire bottle since I first got it, so I think it's safe to say that I really like that one. I hope this has helped you out if you're looking for a new foundation to try out. Let me know what your favorites are, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!